Hi guys, welcome back to the garden. I know it's been a really long time. I did film an October video, but I got really sick and I just didn't have the energy to edit it, and I didn't feel like there was any point in putting it out 5 or 6 weeks later. So here we are. We're now middle of November. We've got a cold spell coming up next week down here with overnight temperatures kind of dipping around about the 0, and the daytime temperatures, which is the problem, is only about 2 or 3 degrees, so it's really not going to warm up. You want to go? This is Ori. Come join me and Ori. We'll walk around the garden and discuss this year's winter plans. Okay, so this is by the back gate where we normally start now, and this is where most of the tenders are. So this is where all my coleus are. So you can see this one has been slowly being hit by the colder temperatures, yet other ones, and even the same variety, a couple of foot to the side, a bit more shelter perhaps, is absolutely fine. So I have already taken some stem cuttings to try and propagate them. I will probably lift some of these and just cut them back down to the first set of buds and just try and overwinter them. The begonia griffins have actually done really well this year, and I've really enjoyed them, so I'm going to try and save myself having to buy them spring next year again. I'm going to try and do some leaf propagating from them, and I probably will also lift the actual main clumps and bring them in, much like the coleus. The Candamucifolia is doing fine. That will just grow back again next spring after winter. This bed I don't really need to do much. I will wait for the frost to take everything down. The Sycamensis here will probably just be taken back down to the ground again. I am thinking about actually lifting and removing it, because there's a lot. If I go down the side, you'll see just how much everything sticks out. Like, there's a lot just vertically in front of you, so you don't really get any depth. Then coming around this way, this Brugmansia was in the October video that you didn't get to see in full flower, which was really nice. But this will have to be taken in, dig up and taken in. I'm probably just stick things in the greenhouse for the first couple of nights. Down here, my hardy and Patians is doing okay, so that should be hardy, so we'll leave that out and give that a shot. Another griffin that will be coming in. The Fatsia has actually recovered this summer reasonably well. The top growth is still really not good, so although that one on that stem is looking a little bit better. Everything down here should be pretty much fine. Colocasia I do need to bring in. I will probably try and overwinter it again in the house. The new little mini fuchsia I need to double check, because I haven't had one for about 20 years, so I just need to remind myself. Everything here is looking fine. The fascicular bicolour is out. The begonia luxurians, you can see I've already taken a stem cutting. I will bring the rest of this plant in over winter, even though they are ridiculously hard to keep looking good. You need to remember that this also has to come in, because this is not frost hardy. This, however, is absolutely fine. Needs a little bit of a prune actually next spring. Everything here is doing fine. This is absolutely fine. This gets taken back in the winter. The Gunnera over the back is actually doing pretty well now. It's sizing up slowly. It's in quite a sheltered spot, so I'll just wait for the frost to naturally take that back. I definitely need to clear the leaves here by the looks of it. The Euphorbia did not make it. Everything down that bed is hardy and just needs to be tidied up once the frost takes things back. This bed, everything again is basically hardy, excluding the Brugmansia, which is, you'll get a better view from the other side, out in full flower still, with a lot of buds still to come actually, which will be a shame, but I suppose I'll get to see them indoors for a little while. This bed is still just a hodgepodge of weeds, mahonia and gingers. Dahlias, they'll just get taken back once the frost nips them off. Some more of a view of the Brugmansia flowers. This bed, everything is basically designed to be hardy. The cannas that are in here will just be cut back to the ground. These peonies, you know, have already been hit. They just get cut back and then just pile a little bit of soil over them. Roscoea, got my two from Wales from earlier this year. So I've read that they should be completely hardy. It's recommended just to give them a little mound of soil over them over winter, which is what I will do. And then over the years, the column actually sucks itself down into the ground further to protect itself more. So I don't want to lose them, so I will give them a mound of soil. The ace has dropped all of its leaves. Everything down here is fine. This is obviously just the veg plot that's looking very sad. This will all be gone next year, and this will probably be a new bed that I will plant up for you guys and make a little video out of that. And then everything down here is again fully hardy, or stuff that gets cut back down to the ground and will regrow in spring. So let's head back up the garden. A couple of weeks ago I did actually take all the tomato plants back and just leave the fruits on, so I'm going to actually pick these off whether they're green or ripened. They need a little bit of watering. My leeks, and then the mangoes and a couple of aloes I did bring in probably about a month ago now, just to get the soil nice and dry, because they'll take cold temperatures, but if the soil is damp, then they will not enjoy being frozen. This bed is pretty much again all hardy stuff. Most of my stuff now is designed so that I just cut it back and let winter kind of rock around, and then I just stay indoors for 4 or 5 months. The other new addition is this hydrangea, which again, you know, should be fully hardy. Hopefully the rabbits don't find it in spring. Then last but not least, the patio area. So this is Salvia concertiflora. So I did take some cuttings of this, which I did lose, so I might try and take some more cuttings, but this is not hardy if I remember right, so this will have to go in. Brugmansia that's still in a pot, so that will go in. All my old lilies, a Albrizia, this will obviously go in over winter. This Euca gloriosa is coming out in flower. Everything else here is hardy, even the fuchsia, and when we've had really cold weather it just gets cut back. The cordyline red stars will need to go in the greenhouse over winter. The Insettis, I've overwintered them the last couple of years in the bathroom, and I've basically just kept the top couple of growth leaves on them, so I'd cut everything kind of apart from that roller and maybe 1 or 2 of the vertical leaves, because it just sits in my bathroom, in the bathtub, which we don't use. But this year I think, rather than all the faff of keeping them in the bathroom and just keeping them slowly ticking over, I'm actually going to try and propagate both of them, purely because they're so common in all of the gardener centres now that even if nothing happens and I do lose them, it's about £10 per plant for a little one, and it will be easier to overwinter next year, and then I can get these sizes again in a couple of years. Everything else stays out here, as the sago will go into the greenhouse as well. But that's basically it for the garden. So that's a very, very quick garden tour for me. Normally I ramble on and on. So we will see what next week's weather brings us. It's still, you know, almost a week away, so it could be worse, but it could also not hit the freezing temperatures, and everything is overkill. So I will see you in the next video post the cold weather.